The two pals in today's tale went diving at Lake Apopka. They overshot their mark and were forced to deal with the effects of one of the riskiest cave diving scenarios, kicking up silt. Keving, the subjects of this narrative are James Gokey and Daniel Eugene Smith. Freshwater Lake Apopka is located in the U.S. state of Florida's Orange and Lake counties. It is the fourth largest lake in the state, covering a total area of 30,800 acres, 125 kilometers. The main water sources for this freshwater lake are rainfall, springs, and storm runoff. Through the Apopka-Beauclair Canal, the lake is connected to Lake Beauclair and Lake Dora to the north. The north shore of Lake Apopka is a popular location for outdoor enthusiasts thanks to its trails, observation tower, and original pump house. One of the best spots in the world to watch migratory birds is Lake Apopka, which is home to 400 different species of birds. A well-liked attraction, the Wildlife Drive spans the eastern 11 miles of Lake Apopka's North Shore, and it includes an audio tour so that visitors may unwind and take it all in. The stunning views of Lake Apopka would also inform viewers about the lake's change to get rid of pollutants from humans. The Apopka-Beauclair Canal was built in the 1880s as a part of a bigger endeavor to alter Lake Apopka's northern coast. A levee constructed in 1941 to facilitate agriculture would drain 20,000 acres, 81 kilometers, of wetlands from the northern end of Lake Apopka, which was once 50,000 acres, 202 kilometers in size. Fish populations decline and algae blooms were caused as a result of the farm's wastewater. As a result of the Tower Chemical Company's massive DDE spill into the river in 1980, more damage was done. Upon learning of this, the U.S. EPA promptly ordered the company to suspend operations and started a significant lake cleaning. Even small amounts of contaminated water leaking into Florida's rivers would cause permanent harm to the state's wildlife. Algal blooms have been an issue in Lake Apopka since 1991, when the group Friends of Lake Apopka was established to find the cause of the phosphorus leaks. The success of the initiative depended heavily on the implementation of the Lake Apopka Restoration Act, which held the farmers accountable for any phosphorus leak. The wetland areas along the northern bank of the river may also be rebuilt with the approval of St. John's River Water Management. Gizzard shads excrete 175 tons of nitrogen and 58 tons of phosphorus, according to a 2002 report to the district's governing board. A vent that leads into Apopka Spring is located on the lake's southwest side, about 45 feet, 13.7 meters, below the water's surface. The vent hole narrows into the limestone for 16 feet, 4.8 meters, before sloping northward at roughly 45 degrees to a depth of 90 feet, or 27.4 meters, providing hazardous diving conditions. Despite the fact that divers at Lake Apopka routinely dive at this opening, this is not where the current narrative starts. The divers of today were just to the east of Apopka Spring in the Gordneck Springs. Kevin James Gokey, 34, and Daniel Eugene Smith, 25, went scuba diving at Apopka Spring on Tuesday, July 4, 1995. Together with their companions, they took a boot trip to Gordneck Springs. Kevin and Daniel prepared their diving gear before beginning their dive into the frigid spring seas. Due to the 45 minutes of oxygen they had on them, they assured their companions that they wouldn't be under for too long. After an hour had passed without Kevin and Daniel returning to the surface, their pals became concerned and called the sheriff's office. Local cave rescue and recovery divers Jim Calvin and Mark Long were contacted after local officials recognized they lacked the necessary training for the retrieval attempt. At this point, Mark had over 800 cave dives under his belt and had been certified in cave diving for 14 years. Following Kevin and Daniel into the lake, Mark and Jim dove into the water. They ultimately made it into the little cave and found Daniel and Kevin's bodies. The men were united just inside a small gap between several boulders leading into the cave, floating in 96 feet or 29 meters of water. Jim declared, "What transpired during this brief dive into Kevin and Daniel's lives?" After removing the remains from the water, Jim and Mark stated that it was evident that Daniel and Kevin were only certified open water divers. They were not certified cave divers. The area where these individuals drowned is not somewhere that most people would go since it is silty and constricting, Mark added. For those of you who don't know what silty circumstances are, in pitch-black caves, stirring up silt can quickly become a life-threatening situation. It is quite difficult to tell which way is up or down because the visibility might soon decrease to nothing. There are just two options for surviving in this situation. Either use your guidance or attempt to maintain composure under pressure. Cave divers are obliged to erect a guideline before entering a cave. It's the only thing that will let you know where to go when you're ready to go. It's easy to get lost underwater, so you don't want to waste any of your precious seconds or minutes trying to figure out where you are. Popular caves occasionally, but not usually, may have set permanent guidelines imposed by previous divers. A standing rule may still be in effect, but you can never be certain of its scope. The line of sight was frequently laid by cave divers, who then removed it before departing. As previously indicated, Kevin and Daniel lacked the credentials for cave diving. They therefore lacked a guideline, probably due to their lack of expertise. They may have been stirring up silt when they became disoriented in the pitch-black tunnel, panicked, and drowned. This tragedy emphasizes the importance of preparation and equipment before exploring underground. Mark Long also saw that only a few lights were being carried by Kevin and Daniel. Cave divers should always carry 3 or more flashlights with them in case one is accidentally dropped, the batteries die, or the bulbs burn out. Additionally, cave divers often only use a third of their oxygen when entering and leaving a cave. In case of a crisis, the additional third is kept on hand. Kevin and Daniel didn't have a backup regulator, which each diver carries in case their primary one breaks. The killings of Kevin and Daniel were absolutely avoidable and unnecessary. Given that none of them had any prior expertise in such caverns, they shouldn't have entered them. According to local press sources, one of the men had only registered 6 dives overall and was a recently licensed diver, but it is unclear which one. Many divers think that after earning their open water certification, they should pursue a cave diving certification, but this isn't necessarily the case. Simply put, it depends on a number of factors, such as your background, skills, and emotional stability. Diving in confined areas like caves is significantly different from diving in the open ocean. These kinds of mishaps are completely avoidable if you stay within the guidelines that were given to you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you liked what you saw, click the like button, think about subscribing, and click the bell icon to get notified when we post another thrilling cave diving story.